Hello YouTube, welcome to this video, part 5 of my life story. This part deals with me going out in London for the first time on the gay scene, my holidays and my job with the post office amongst other things. Chapter 9, going out in London with my friend and meeting friends. There wasn't so many gay pubs in London in 1987. My first time I went to a gay pub, I went to the Brief Encounter near Leicester Square. There was many men there of all ages and was very cruisy. I remember going past the door, being afraid to go in, and it is daunting the first time you go in a gay pub, and being scared. I was different, but once I got through the door, of course, I felt at home. I also went to the Black Cap pub in Camden, a legendary gay venue that had drag every night. The Black Cap was fun, and unfortunately last year it closed down. The Brief Encounter closed down around about 10 years ago. The age of consent in 1987 was gay people 21, for heterosexuals it was 16. Nowadays, and since 2001, it's been 16 for both. In April, I met a guy called Mark. He was fun, around about my age, and he invited me to Brighton. 8 of his friends were going, and I barely knew him. I think I saw him twice before I went to Brighton. His friends were friendly and we had fun, as I said, and one of his friends was called Peter, and we began a relationship. I liked and loved Peter more than Mark. Mark began dating other guys, and I had left Mark and I didn't see him again, and my life was with Peter. For 5 years we had a relationship, then just a friendship. We've known each other now 29 years, and he is my best friend. I lived in a room in a shared house with friends in Manor Park, then in Leytonstone. They are both in East London, around about 5 miles from Walthamstow, where I now live. Peter lived with his sister Wendy and her husband Rod and their child Lorraine in Chingford in East London, about 5 miles the other way. Chapter 10, joining the post office. On the 16th of October 1987, I left customs excise. I hated monthly pay. In order to get promoted, I'd have to go out visiting people and businesses, or at the airport, the customs officers you see at the airport would be the grade I'd be promoted to. I didn't want to be a taxi inspector for the rest of my life. So I gave him my notice and I joined the post office the following Monday. Again, apart from 6 weeks after leaving college, RJ's had never been unemployed. When I joined the post office, the pay was 1.5 times more than with customs, with overtime, and the biggest bonus is for the first 16 years, we only had to work 4 hours a day and got paid for 8. We had more Spanish practices than the Spanish. It's all come to an end now, unfortunately. We went on strike to protest about something and the management clamped down. For the first 10 years, I loaded and unloaded lorries. During the daytime, I had 2 pints a beer a day. And most of my colleagues on the platforms were loading and unloading lorries also did the same. I also drank at night, and I thought to myself, the only way I can give up drinking 2 pints a day is to become a driver. I hadn't driven a lorry for 10 years. Sorry, a car for 10 years. Not since I left home. So now I became a van driver, and consequently have never touched a drop of alcohol in working hours since. I loved my job, and I have many friends there, and I still work with the post office today. Chapter 11, my holidays. Peter and I went on a holiday often. We didn't have a mortgage back then, and from 1988 through to 1993, every year we went to Sitges, which is near Barcelona. Also to Gran Canaria for a bit of winter sun as well. In 1994, we decided we had enough of package holidays, and what we did for the next 7 years is we booked the flight only, then our accommodation separately by fax, and travelled around by train and saw up to 7 different cities or resorts over 3 weeks. The first time, in 1994, we did a 3-week holiday in northern Spain. We flew to Zaragoza, then visited San Sebastian, Santander, Gijon, Oviedo, and Pamplona. In 1995, we went to Canada. We flew to Toronto and went to Niagara Falls and Montreal. I flew Air India to Canada also. It was £100 cheaper than British Airways or Air Canada, and you could still smoke on it, on the plane. They're the only service across the Atlantic that allowed smoking, apart from Emirates to America. In 1996, we flew to Benidorm and visited Valencia and Murcia. In 1997, we flew to Malaga, visited Torremolinos, Granada, Cordoba, Cadiz, and had a great holiday. In 1998, we had enough of Spain. We'd seen most of it, so we decided on Italy. We flew to Rome and with the train went to Florence, Milan, and Lake Garda. In 1999, we flew to Bologna and went to Trento, Venice, and Lake Como. On other holidays, we went to Madrid, Seville, Paris, Amsterdam, Brussels, and Prague. We flew every February to Gran Canaria for our winter sun. I have many happy memories of the holidays, our time in Milan, Florence, Rome, Venice, Amsterdam, Prague, Sitges, and Barcelona. Chapter 12. Lucy, Shirley, and Peter. I saw Lucy about every 2 months, and we had every year Christmas together. We didn't particularly like Christmas. All the shops were shut, and the pubs, and there was no public transport. All our friends were with their families, and we preferred New Year's Eve, to be honest. In 1997, Lucy and I decided to visit Shirley and Peter. They had moved to Clun in Shropshire, around about 50 miles west of Birmingham. The only reason we go is to see Shirley. We hate Peter. They lead separate lives. Peter goes on long walks, and Peter loves the cinema and the theatre. We only see them once a year, and the only other thing I can say is Lucy moved to a house in Herne Bay in this decade. She doesn't have children, but she loves her dogs, and she's got 4 rescue dogs at the moment that live with her. Chapter 13, about me and the afterword. My hobbies are reading science fiction, going to cinema and swimming. I never learnt French or Spanish or Italian. I can read a menu and order drink and cigarettes. That's about it. I'm a lazy Englishman. What else? I smoked about 30 cigarettes a day. I had my ears pierced in 1990. I didn't have my first tattoo to 2003. More about that later. I've worn glasses since I was 20, and in my first videos I didn't wear them because I'm very vain. Like when I went out on the gay scene, I never wore them then, and people look so much better at distance when you don't wear them. I made a few drunken mistakes. I've had other relationships in my life, but for personal reasons I will keep them private. In 1999, in October, Peter and I, my best friend, bought our apartment. It was worth £69,995. On Zoopla today, it's worth £263,000. In November 1999, I asked for my birth records. Lucy had done the same back in August that year, but hadn't yet found her mum or dad. It was a life-changing decision, and in the next part I'll tell you about the search and reunion with my birth mother. Thank you for liking this video. I hope you found my life story interesting, and stay lit. Hello, I forgot to say what follows is some photos from my life. Enjoy.